Welcome to the Salesforce Contracts CLM demo presented by Spaulding Ridge. My name is Logan Malone. I'm here with Jamie Perry, and today we'll be taking you through the contract lifecycle within Salesforce. Jamie?
Thanks, Logan. So we're going to start by creating an NDA off of an account. Go into the account record here. Towards the bottom here, you can see we have the contract object. We have this create new button. So we'll click that. From here, we'll get a pop-up where we can populate the fields that'll carry over to our contract. You see we'll have our invoice date, our payment terms, required fields, the status. We want to leave that in draft. Contract start date, I'll choose today. Contract term in months, we'll just choose 12 months here. From here, we can click save. And as you can see, our contract's generated. I'll click this hyperlink to bring us to the contract record. And I'll go into the details here. We have the contract owner, the contract number, our account name. As you can see, all the fields that we filled out in that pop-up carry over to the details as well. Next, we'll click the Create Contract Document button. From here, we are brought to the Omni Studio contract editor. We have the option to generate a contract using a template. We can import a contract using a pre-existing contract, or we can create one in Microsoft 365 editor.
The differences between these three here would be generate contract. You're using your standard already legal approved contract template that you then don't need to involve a legal review before going out for signature. That's part of your contract review process at your company. The second one would be, it says pre-existing contracts. It could also be the NDA or MSA or any other contract type from your customer that, if we want to use their third-party paper, you can go about that route here.
Awesome. Thanks, Logan. So we're going to create an NDA off of a template that we have uploaded into Salesforce. We'll choose that here. Once we choose the template, we'll click Generate Document. And we'll click Continue. So we'll add it to the queue. Typically, it'll populate on its own, but if it doesn't, we can just refresh, and that will bring you to your contract. Next, we're going to check the contract in. What this does is really just saves it to the database where you're able to work on multiple versions, check out the contract and the checkout functionality. We can generate another template if we need to edit anything within the existing contract. We can kick it out to Microsoft 365 editor if we want to modify it in there, or if we want to import a new contract from an external source, we can do so here as well.
One thing to note here, there's a data merge happening as well. So your data in Salesforce merging onto the document so that your Salesforce environment is ultimately your single source of truth, and you're not pulling data elsewhere or having to manually enter in data that could be incorrect.
All right, so at this point, we're ready to send the NDA for signature. And up at the top here, we can click the Send for Signature button. This will redirect us to the document e-signature screen. We can add our recipients here. We'll receive a pop-up. And for the recipient names, these will be the contacts on the account records. So any contact that's populated will be, you'll be able to choose from the drop-down list here. Recipient type, we're going to choose signer. These are different roles within the DocuSign e-signature platform that we have designated. And then for queuing purposes, we'll choose either signer 1, signer 2, signer 3, signer 4, or signer 5. And then we'll click Save. It's important that we check this box here so we can specify who we're sending the contract to. Email subject, we can enter here. And then we can enter our body of our email here. At the bottom here, we can attach our document. We can either choose to attach the NDA in either a PDF form or a Microsoft Word format. We can click add here, and from here, we'll click send.
So at this point, Salesforce Contracts is leveraging an integration within DocuSign e-signature to send this envelope through DocuSign e-signature, where you can manage the envelope settings within e-signature as well as Salesforce.
Yep. And once we send it for signature, we'll go back to the contract record, and you can see that it's in awaiting signature status. Okay, let me just get back to the contract screen. All right. Now that we've sent the contract for signature, as you can see, those who would receive it will find it in their inbox, and the document will be ready for review within DocuSign. You can open that here. Agree to the electronic records and signatures terms. Click continue. At the bottom here, we'll have an area for signature. What is our signature here? Once the client has reviewed and signed the document, we can click finish.
Shit, nothing's. Yeah.
Once that document has been signed within DocuSign, you'll be able to update the envelope status within Salesforce. Once we've updated that envelope status, we can activate the contract as well. But receive confirmation at the top here. If we go back to the contract record, you can see that the contract is now activated. Next, we're going to demonstrate how to create an MSA off of an opportunity by importing a contract through the contract editor. We'll go to the account record. We'll create a new opportunity. From here, you can name our opportunity. Enter our close date here. Also enter our contract terms here at the bottom. We'll put what stage the opportunity is in as well. We can save that. Click this hyperlink here to bring us to our opportunity record. From here, as you can see, the details are carried over from that pop-up that we populated. Next, we'll click this drop down here at the top and we'll create a contract. From here, as you can see, all the pertinent information from the opportunity record is carried over to the contract record. We'll click create contract document. All right. So once we've imported our contract, we'll go ahead and check that in. The top left here, click checkout for review. We'll have the option to either generate a new template, kick it out to Microsoft 365 Editor to make any edits needed, or import a new contract on top of the existing one. For this demo's sake, we're going to choose to kick it out to Microsoft 365 Editor. We'll click checkout. From here, you're brought to the editor. And one thing that we want to note is clicking the review tab here, making sure that tracking changes is enabled for redlining purposes. So we can choose either for everyone or just mine. We're going to choose for everyone, so everyone within your organization can review. For this demo's sake, we'll just change contract start date. As you can see, we'll be able to see any changes that were made to the contract. We're going to demonstrate how to insert a clause using the Salesforce Contracts connector for Word. Here we'll choose to insert a new clause.
And the beauty about this extension and this plugin for Microsoft 365 Word is that all of these clauses that the seller could reference and automatically merge into the document are all managed and pre-approved by the legal team.
Thank you, Logan. So I'll search for our exclusions clause that we created. Choose that here. Then we'll click Insert Clause. And all right. So once we've inserted that clause, we're ready to check the document back into Salesforce for approvals. Click Check in here. Receive confirmation that the contract has been checked back into Salesforce. We'll click OK. And then we'll go back to our contract editor within Salesforce. As you can see, all the edits that we have made are now displayed on the new version of the contract. Next, we'll click Submit for approval.
And the submitting for approval functionality can be very custom to your organization, whether it needs to go to the legal team for review first, or there could be an approval hierarchy where it goes to seller's manager, VP, and then legal. It can all be very custom to your organization and your current needs and how to make it more efficient.
So we'll go back to the contract record. As you can see, it's now in the approval process. We'll go down here, look at the approval history. As you can see, it's now in legal review.
Now, as the legal user, I've received the email notification that there is a document that I need to approve within Salesforce Contracts. So I'll get an email, I'll click into the hyperlink to bring me into that contract record for me to view the contract document as well. And I'll either hit approve, reject, or maybe I need to reassign it to another person on my legal team. For the demo purposes, I know it's a pre-approved clause within maybe a third-party MSA. So I'm going to go ahead and click approve as the legal user. So once legal approved it, seller will get a notification. They can also manage that approval and negotiation through the contract record itself so that they can always stay in Salesforce. So if I were to scroll down to the very bottom and look at the approval history, I can see at 11:05 a.m. Jamie Perry approved this document on behalf of the legal team. From here, we know that it's in an approved state, and as a seller, I can now send for signature the same way I sent the NDA for signature through the eSign, DocuSign eSign integration.
Next, we're going to demonstrate how to create a quote off of a quote that is created on an opportunity record. Next, I will click Create Contract. We'll generate our new contract record, and I will create our contract document. From here, I'll select the template in which we want to create our quote off of. It'll be our quote contract template. We'll click Generate Document. Continue. Refresh the page here. As you can see, all the information from that quote record was brought into the opportunity and thus now on the quote template. Here are line items and our quote total down at the bottom here, as well as the reference quote in the notes and terms section here. Go ahead and check that in.
So from here, as a seller, I'm going to go ahead and submit for approval on this quote document. So once I do that, depending on business needs and how your company operates today and how it wants to in the future, it can either go to your legal team for review, or because it's a quote, maybe it'll go to your, the seller's manager or VP prior to being sent out to the customer for review.
So yeah.
So now as a seller, or really with anyone within your organization who has access to this screen, the account page, I know where all of my contracts live for this XYZ company account. So if I were to scroll to the bottom section, the contract record section, I can see the NDA, MSA, and quote that we created for this account. If I were to navigate to the opportunity, I'll be able to see the contracts that were generated off of the opportunity. So that would be the MSA and quote, their current status of each one, and a hyperlink into those documents, which will then bring you into the physical document, then Salesforce Contracts. Additionally, all of this is contract record data. So sales reports can be created based off of specific contract type. You could create a pipeline report for contracts that are out for review. You can, if you're legal and you need to create a report for all the MSAs that have been signed in the last month, that's the standard Salesforce reporting functionality, just based off of the contract record data.